Okay, let's continue. Chapter number 7, rotational motion. We have already started. Okay, we have studied about rigid body, a body which consists of a number of particles. Okay, and these particles are exerting force on each other, which we call it as the internal force. And also, if some force is applied from outside, which we call it as external force. And the motion of the body is only due to the external force. Due to internal force, there is no motion. These forces cancel out. Okay, now today we'll start with center of mass. Okay, a point where whole mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated. That point in the rigid body, we call it as the center of mass. And the body can be balanced at that point. You can balance the body at that point. For example, if a notebook is there, you keep your finger at the center, you can balance your copy at that point. So that point is the center of mass, and the whole mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated at that point. So write down the point on the rigid body, the point on the rigid body where whole mass of the body, where the total mass of the body, where the whole mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated, Write down, it appears that the external force which is applied on the whole body, is the same at the center of mass, So the motion of center of mass, is same as that of the whole body, Okay, now here we'll derive the expression of center of mass. Okay, for a simplest system, we'll consider a system, this rigid body, you can call it to be a system. Okay, we'll consider a very, very simple system in which there are only two particles. Otherwise, a rigid body has a number of particles. Okay, so here we'll consider that the rigid body is having, or the system is having, only two particles. And we'll derive the expression of center of mass for this two particle system. And then we'll generalize this formula for n number of particles. Okay, so center of mass for two particle system. Okay, there are only two particles in the system. Okay, center of mass for a two particle system. Okay, now let us consider a system in which there are only two particles. Okay, a very, very simple system, a simplest system in which there are only two particles having masses m1 and m2. Okay, there are only two particles whose position vectors are r1 and r2 respectively. What do you mean by position vector? From the origin, how far is the particle and what is its direction from the origin? Okay, that we call it as the position vector. So here we consider that there are only two particles in the system having position vectors r1 and r2 respectively. Okay. Now we'll find out the center of mass, that is the position the position vector of the center of mass for this two particle system. Okay, and then we'll generalize it for n number of particles. Okay, now let external force is applied on the system. Let external force capital F is applied on the system. So some force will be applied on the first particle, M1, let it is F1, and some force is applied on the second particle, which is M2, let it is F2. So what is the total force on first particle? The total force on first particle is some external force is applied, let it is capital F1. Okay, this one is external force. And some internal force is also applied on this particle due to the second particle. Okay, as we know that any number of particles in the rigid body, they apply force on each other. That is, they are applying force on each other. So there is some force on the first particle due to the second particle, and this force is the internal force. So the total force on the first particle is the sum of the external force and the internal force. We are considering only two particles in the system. So the second particle is exerting some force on the first particle, which is the internal force. Let this small F12 is the force on the first particle due to the second particle. Okay, some external force F is applied. So the force on the first particle is F1, which is the external force, plus F12, which is the internal force. Similarly, what will be the total force on the second particle? Okay, some external force is being applied on this body, on this rigid body, on this two particle system. So some external force on the second particle plus F21, the force on the second particle due to the first particle. Okay, this is the internal force. This one is the external force. So the total force on the second particle is also the sum of the external force which is applied on this particle, plus the first particle is applying some force on the second particle, which is the internal force. Okay, now what will be the total force on the body? It will be the total force on the first particle plus the total force on the second particle is the total force on the body. So the total force on the system, okay, what is the total force applied on? This is a system which consists of only two particles. Now what will be the total force on the system? The total force on the first particle plus the total force on the second particle. That is F1 plus F12 plus F2 plus F21. Okay, these capital F1 and F2 are the external forces, and F12 and F21 are the internal forces. Okay, now we know that according to Newton's third law, F12 vector is equal to minus F21 vector. Okay, those forces, the internal forces will be equal and opposite. Okay, so according to Newton's third law, according to Newton's third law, the sum F12 vector is equal to minus F21 vector. So what will be the sum of the internal forces? It will be equal to 0. So F12 vector plus F21 vector is equal to 0. So the total force on the system, that is, there will be some motion on the system due to this external force, but the sum of the internal forces are 0. So it means the internal forces are not contributing for the motion of this system. Only the external forces make the system move, make the particles move. Due to the internal forces, there is no motion of the system. Why? Because F12 plus F21 is equal to 0. So what will be the total force on the system? F1 plus F2. That is the sum of the external forces on the particles. Okay, there is no contribution of the motion due to the internal forces because they will cancel out each other. Okay, according to Newton's third law, the force on the first particle due to the second will be minus of F21, the force on the second particle due to the first. Okay, these forces are equal and opposite in direction. So the sum of these forces is, the sum of the internal forces is 0. Okay, so the total force on the system is, the total force capital F is equal to F1 plus F2. That is the sum of the, these are the external forces. Okay, this one is also external force, this is also external force. Okay, so the total force on the system, due to this force, there will be some acceleration in the system, that is there will be some motion in the system, which will be only due to the external forces. There is no contribution of the internal forces. Okay, so note it down. So the total force is the sum of the external forces only. Okay, note down. I have to rub the board and then we'll continue. Okay, so here we have found out the total force on the first particle. We have considered a system, a very simple system which consists only of two particles. Okay, so as there are only two particles, so the total force on the first particle will be some external forces applied plus internal forces, they are the same way for the second particle. So the total force on the system will be the sum of the external forces plus the sum of the internal forces, but the sum of the internal forces is equal to 0. According to Newton's third law, they will cancel out each other. So the total force on the system is only the sum of the external forces on the individual particles. Here there are only two particles. So the total force on the system is sum of the external forces. Okay, now the total force on the system, which is capital F. This is the total force on the system is equal to F1 plus F2. Both are the external forces. Okay, F1 vector can be written as, due to this force on the first particle, there will be some acceleration in the first particle, which is equal to mass of the first particle into acceleration of the first particle. Same way, F2 is equal to m2 into a2. Okay, now the acceleration can be written as the rate of change of velocity, m1 dv1 upon dt. Okay, the rate of change of velocity of the first particle plus m2, a2 can be written as dv2 upon dt. Okay, now velocity we know is equal to the rate of change of displacement, that is v1 is equal to dr1 by dt, v2 is equal to dr2 upon dt. So this can be written as m1 d by dt of v1 can be written as dr1 upon dt plus m2 d by dt of velocity vector for the second particle is dr2 position vector upon dt. Okay, this can be written as m1 into d2r1 upon dt square plus m2, the second order differentiation d2r2 upon dt square is the total force on the system. Okay, d2 upon dt square can be taken outside because m1 and m2 are constant. So this can be written as F vector is equal to d2 upon dt square m1 r1 vector plus m2 into r2 vector. Okay, this is the total force on the system. Okay, and we know that this total force appears as if the force is applied on the center of mass. Okay, this total force is the same as if the force is applied on the center of mass. Okay, write it as equation number 1 and leave it. Now we'll find out the force on the center of mass. Okay, note it down. Okay, the sum of the external forces. The external force on the first particle is mass into acceleration of the second particle. Acceleration can be written as dv by dt. Velocity can be written as dr by dt. Okay, so it will be the second order d2 r1 upon dt square. The same way here m2 d2 r2 upon dt square. Take this d2 upon dt square outside. So m1 r1 vector plus m2 r2 vector is the total force on the system. Okay, now write down. Write down the total force on the center of mass. The total force on the center of mass is the same as the force on the system. Okay, the total force on the center of mass is the same as the force on the system. Okay, what is the system? This is the system which is having two particles. So it's the same as the force on the system. So this is the total force on the system, that is on both the particles. Okay, now what will be the force on the center of mass? Which will be the same as if this. Okay, now force on center of mass. Okay, it would be the same. Mass of the center of mass. Just now we have studied that at the center of mass, the whole mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated. So what is the mass of the center of mass? The total mass of the system. This system is having only two particles. So what is the total mass at the center of mass? Is equal to the total mass of the body. And what is the total mass of the body? The sum of the masses of the particles. That is, it is equal to m1 plus m2 into d2 upon dt square of, okay, let this is the position vector of center of mass. Okay, so it will be equal to the same way, d mass into acceleration. Mass of the center of mass is m1 plus m2 into acceleration of the center of mass. Acceleration of the center of mass can be written as d by dt of velocity of center of mass. Velocity of center of mass can be written as dr upon dt. This position vector is of center of mass. So d2 r subscript is cm, center of mass, upon dt square. Okay, d2 rcm upon dt square. Okay, this is the force on the center of mass. This is equation number 2. Okay, just now you have written that the total force on the body is the same as the force on the center of mass. That is, we can equate 1 and 2. So equating 1 and 2, equate 1 and 2. Okay, just now you have written that the total force is the same as the force acting on the center of mass. So equating 1 and 2, write down equating 1 and 2. Equating 1 and 2. Why? Because this is the force on the whole system. This is the force on the center of mass, and it appears whatever force is applied on the body, the same force is applied on the center of mass. So this is the force on the center of mass. Now let's equate equation number 1 and 2. Yes, what do we get? m1 plus m2 d2 rcm upon dt square is equal to d2 upon dt square m1 r1 vector plus m2 r2 vector. Okay, now this can be written as d2 rcm upon dt square. This m1 plus m2 is a scalar quantity which will not be differentiated, which is not changing with the time. So we can divide it over here. is equal to d2 upon dt square m1 r1 vector plus m2 r2 vector upon m1 plus m2. Okay, so d2 RCM, this m1 plus m2 divided over here. Okay, so what do you get? The expression for the center of mass, position vector of center of mass, RCM vector is equal to m1 r1 plus m2 r2 upon m1 plus m2. So here you got the expression for the center of mass. So hence the expression of center of mass or the expression of position vector of center of mass is m1 r1 vector plus m2 r2 vector upon m1 plus m2. So here we get this expression for the center of mass, which is equal to m1 r1 plus m2 r2 upon m1 plus m2. Okay, note it down. So we found out the total force on the system, which is the sum of the external forces. Okay, and the total force on the center of mass. Whatever force is applied on the whole body, that is on the system, the same force is appearing as if it is applied on the center of mass. So we equate these two equations and we get the expression of position vector of center of mass, which is m1 r1 plus m2 r2 upon m1 plus m2. Okay, now let's discuss few cases over here. First case, if masses of both the particles are equal, both the particles are of equal masses, let m1, m2 both are equal to small m, then what do you get? Substitute m1 as m, m2 also as m, take m common in the numerator, denominator m plus m, 2m, m and m cancels out, so what do you get? r1 plus r2 vector upon 2. That is, the center of mass will be lying at the center of the line joining the two particles. This is the first particle, mass m, second particle, mass m. Where will be the center of mass? At the center of the line joining the two particles. So this will be the position vector of the center of mass, as it is r1 plus r2 upon 2. So the center of mass lies at the center of the line joining the two particles. Okay, so you can make this figure also. X-axis, this is y-axis. Both the particles are of equal masses. So the center of mass, you will make a point at the center of the line joining the two particles. Okay, so write down. Hence center of mass, okay, only in this case we are discussing. Hence center of mass lies at the center of the line joining the two particles. Lies at the center of the line joining the two particles. Okay, so where is the center of mass? At the center of the line joining the two particles. Now second case, if the center of mass is at the origin, that is, this RCM is at the origin. Okay, that is the position vector of the center of mass is at the origin. So the second case is if center of mass is at origin, that is RCM is equal to 0. The position vector of the center of mass is equal to 0. Okay, substitute it over here. RCM is equal to 0. M1 R1 vector plus M2 R2 vector upon M1 plus M2 is equal to 0. That is, M1 R1 plus M2 R2 is equal to 0. That is, M1 R1 is equal to minus M2 R2 vector is equal to minus M2 R2 vector. Okay, so what is this negative sign indicating over here? R1 vector is in the opposite direction to the R2 vector. So if the center of mass is at the origin, one particle will be along positive axis and the other particle will be along negative axis. If it is x-axis, one particle will be along plus x-axis, the other particle will be along minus x-axis. Or if one particle is along plus y-axis, the other particle will be along minus y-axis. That is, both the particles will be in the opposite direction. Okay, these two particles will be in the opposite direction of the center of mass. Okay, so write down M1 R1 vector is equal to minus M2 R2 vector. Which case? If the center of mass is at the origin. So write down. Then both the particles will be in the opposite direction. Will be in the opposite direction as shown in the figure. Okay, one particle along plus x-axis, the other particle will be along minus x-axis. Okay, if the center of mass is at the origin. Also, we see that M1 R1 is R1 upon R2 is equal to M2 upon M1, or you can say M1 upon M2 is equal to R2 upon R1. So the center of mass will be closer to the heavier particle. Whichever particle is heavy, suppose M2 is heavy, the center of mass will be closer to the heavier particle. Okay, so write down. Also we see that the center of mass is closer to the heavier particle. Okay, so in the first case, we have studied that if both the particles are of equal masses, then the center of mass lies at the center of the line joining the two particles. Okay, and if the center of mass is at the origin, one particle will be along plus x-axis and the other particle will be along minus x-axis. Okay, and the center of mass lies closer to the heavier particle. Okay, if there are n number of particles, if n number of particles exist in the rigid body, if small n is the total number of particles, then what will be the position vector of center of mass? M1 will generalize this formula for n number of particles, dash 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 Mn Rn upon M1 plus M2 plus the total mass of all the particles. This is the total mass of the body. Okay, if this position vector is lying in the space, okay, if this RCM is lying in the space, we can find its rectangular components. We can find its components along all the three axes. What will be the x component of center of mass? M1 x1 plus M2 x2 Mn xn upon M1 plus M2 plus so on Mn. What will be the y coordinate of center of mass? Y coordinate will be M1 y1 till Mn yn upon m1 plus m2 plus mn. What will be the z coordinate? Okay, if it is lying in the xy plane, then you will get only these two coordinates. If RCM is in the space, you will get all three coordinates. Okay, what will be the z coordinate of center of mass? m1 z1 mn zn upon m1 plus m2 plus mn. So these will be the coordinates of the center of mass if RCM is lying in the space. Okay, note it down. So center of mass almost completed. Tomorrow we'll do few questions based on it. Note it down.